Alright, what's going on, y'all? Today I'm going to be showing you the best 5 decks in the month of October. Starting off, we got arguably the best one with Goblin Giant Sparky with Evo Knight. So I do have under-leveled cards, but it doesn't matter at all. I'm just going to arrows that Firecracker. So he is going to be playing Hog EQ, and that spot right there for the mini P.E.K.K.A. will fully counter a Hog, even if it's under-leveled right there, because the tower will help it out. And I get a nice counter push. So he's going to have to overcommit on that. There's 3 Elixir because of the Log and Ice Spirit. And so I actually raged because I thought I was going to get some damage, but he actually smartly places a Knight. So I just reset with a Knight in the back. And so with this deck, you just want to build up a nice Elixir advantage so you can go for your Sparkies in the back, typically in the same lane against a Hog Rider player. And so as you see right there, he overcommits with defending the Firecracker, and I knew he was going to Hog, so I just went with a Sparky in the back so I can get an easy push going. It doesn't matter if you take some damage in single because you're going to take their whole tower in one push, basically. Now, I don't think that's the case right now because I'm pretty sure he had Inferno Tower, which is not too bad, but I do have a Zap. So I am going to have to reset right here. I might get a little bit of damage. I rage too, just so I can get the Goblin Giant on tower, possibly, but it sucks that he has Goblins. I prefer to have Skellies because I could then predict something. And I decided to eat this Goblin damage because I knew I was down Elixir. Now, let me be clear, I am not the best Goblin Giant Sparky player. In fact, I'm pretty bad. As you can see right here, I'm actually trying to predict the Hog Rider and the Firecracker, so I'm going to place the Knight high first, as well as the mini P.E.K.K.A. low, so I can counter them fully. And I just didn't want to leak, so I cycled a Mega Minion. And since I knew he cycled a Log at the same time, I knew that I was down 1 Elixir at the time. So I knew he was going to Evo Cracker, because this is the most obvious play every Hog Rider player makes. I just cycle the arrows so I can get some sort of damage, and I wanted to activate the King Tower here, but I feel like I knew I had to zap mini P.E.K.K.A. this. As double Elixir hits, I'm just going to take the tower damage, and right here it was actually a huge mistake. I played my mini P.E.K.K.A. too high. I should have played it 1 tile lower, and that basically leads to me losing my tower. So leave it to me to be losing in a hard counter, but good thing about Goblin Giant Sparky is you can always come back. So I go for the Sparky in the back. He goes for the stupid Hog Rider and Firecracker in the opposite lane. I know that he's not going to 3-crown me, so I can eat the entirety of that. So I fit the Evo Knight in front. I try to block the Inferno Tower a little bit with the Mega Minion. Probably not the greatest play, but this is right here where he messes up. So I zap the Inferno Tower, resets it. I rage. He places the Goblins, he messes it up, and that's tower down. And at this point, I knew that it was my game to win. Even he did as he starts BMing, so I throw a little BM back. And so here on out, it's just going to be Sparkying the same lane. I wanted to go for the 3 count because I figured that he would be going for the 1 crown. So this is a heavily favored matchup as he keeps BMing because he knows it's over. So he has the Evo Cracker. He actually goes for the Hog Rider on my King, which I really don't agree with. He's been doing this the whole entire overtime, which yeah, credit to him because it actually made the game relatively close, but that's because I really don't know how to play this deck. I tried to tank for the mini P.E.K.K.A. right there by going Goblin Giant in the pocket, and look at the Sparky right here. Look at this. Boom, King Tower right on, and he starts BMing because he knows, and luckily he got a nice Knight down, but yeah, anyways, I think it's going to be game. I can just zap that Mega Minion. I don't want to waste the arrows because I knew he's going to be back to his Evo Firecracker, and I'm just going to take some damage on the King there, just so I can build up a monster push. See, he goes for the Evo Cracker there, so I'm just going to arrows rage that, get some nice tower damage as well. And so right here, I'm going to go for the Knight Goblin Giant at the bridge. He plays some good Goblins, but my Knight will take care of that. Just going to zap to reset the Eye Tower, and then I'll just arrows right there on the Firecracker. Right here, I thought this was going to be game, but I play a stupid Rage. I should have played it on the Goblin Giant. He's BMing. He's very angry still. And this is where I go Sparky in the same lane as him, because I knew he was going to play a Hog into that, because he is desperate for damage in the last 50 seconds. So he does end up getting a Hog hit just because of my underleveled Sparky. And this goes to show you how powerful this deck is, because even with underleveled cards, like my 2 most hard-hitting troops are underleveled. I actually went for a prediction arrows there. I was a little too late. But he does have to Hog into that, which pretty much won me the game, because I knew he couldn't get some extra damage because of that. He even knows it. But anyways, my 2 hardest hitting troops, Sparky and mini P.E.K.K.A., are both level 13. And I still am able to come out of wins with this, just because of the outplay potential and just the pure no skill of this deck. See, I'm completely getting outplayed right here, but still, I'm able to walk away with the win because of how broken this deck is. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, so we got our next match, and this is my most hated deck. I know Goblin Giant Sparky is pretty annoying to play against, but Evo Barbs Elixir Golem has to be one of the most annoying and least skilled decks I've ever seen in my life. So what you got to do, ready? Split barbs, get to your pump, then you pump, then you go in. That's it. Defend with Evo Barbs. So I can tell that he's immediately playing a Golem deck. It's the Evo Barbs, or Evo Knight, excuse me, pump deck with Lumberjack and the Dragons. And so I know he had no big spell, so I'm just going to arrows that and go for a pump. See, right there, I just starting handed him. Because I'm already up in Elixir. He has to cycle Skelly Drags to get to his pump. And this just goes to show you can just go Night Witch in the back, eat both of those dragons, and then just go in and try to take a tower. He's going to go for the E-Dragon, so I knew that he's going to be able to counter my barbs and everything. So I go Skelly King opposite lane. E-Golem, Evo Barbs. That's all I did. A minute into the game. Because I knew he only has a Knight. I'm just going to rage everything, I believe. No, he just went for a Bar Barrel, so I Goblin Gang. And there you go. That is pretty much tower down, and that's pretty much game. This is why I can't stand this deck. I did not use a single brain cell when I was playing this match. And guess what? I'm up Elixir, because I went for a pump before he did. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm assuming he played that pump at 10 because we're even at Elixir, so I'm just going to cycle in arrows. And I knew I was going to be up by the end of the day because I played my pump sooner. So now I know he's going to go Golem. So I try to cycle Goblin Gang, the predicted, just so I can get some nice tower damage, and he does. I get the prediction. So he can't defend that, or else I will just be up a lot of Elixir. I just go for the Night Witch in the back, getting ready for this defense here. And then I remembered that I'm playing E-Golem, and so that I start to push the 3 crown. Now, for some reason, I wanted to pump on defense, but I decided to just go Barbs. And then I saw the E-Dragon come down, the Knight, and the Bar Barrel, as well as his Skelly Dragons. Yep, and that's when I knew that it was game over. I just pushed into literally everything into the 3 crown. Pop the ability, Night Witch, Rage comes down, and the Goblin Gang on defense, and that's it. That's how much skill this deck takes, and I 3 crown easily. What I don't understand, and I say the good game like it was a good game. That's ridiculous. Oh my gosh, this deck just pisses me off watching it back. And that's an easy 3 crown on a Golem player. Alright, I'll see you in the next one. If you haven't noticed the relationship between these 3 decks, let me tell you, it takes 0 skill to play any of them. Right here we got Royal Recruits, Baits, Spam, and I don't even know how to play this deck really other than Recruits in the back first play. And so I split the Wall Breakers. Look how much value I'm giving him right here, but it doesn't matter because I can get many positive Elixir trades with this deck. And I see Monk, Bar Barrel, Phoenix, I immediately think RG, and that's actually not going to be the greatest matchup. For the Firecracker, that is, but I actually wasted the ability here because I thought the tower wasn't going to target the egg, but still, got him in the lane I wanted him to. And so I'm just going to go for a Skelly Barrel, I believe, or I'm just going to Recruits in the back. Yep, so much skill. And he RG's in the back. This is a perfect scenario for me because he can't play into my Recruits, or else that's just going to be free positive Elixir trades for me. So I just go for the Skelly Barrel on the right lane, so he has to defend both sides. And I knew he was going to Bar Barrel the Skelly Barrel, so I just gang so I can easily take out that RG. And as you look at that, no damage on my tower, but I get 300, 200 on mine. Now, he is going to activate King Tower, which isn't the greatest scenario for me, but it's okay because when you're playing Firecracker, you kind of have to accept that situation. I just go for the Wall Breakers to pull back the Phoenix. He goes for the E-Spirit, which means one of them is actually going to connect. So I knew that his E-Spirit and Bar Barrel were out of cycle, so I just go for the Skelly Barrel because I know he's going to have to overcommit. He also follows up with a Monk in the back, which is not the greatest for me, but I'm just going to follow up with the Royal Recruits. I'm going to play it a little bit around the middle just so he can't RG, and he actually makes the mistake of actually going into my Recruits. And right here, you will see the most clutch Recruit I've ever seen. Fisherman pulls him, he plays the E-Spirit, and it hits the 1 Recruit. So I fully countered the RG only with a couple hits, and look at the right side. The right side is getting so much damage. I can dual lane pressure now. Look at this recruit pushing the mighty. He has to fireball. Recruit locks on. I try to pop the ability. It doesn't work. Goblin gang to the bridge. You see how fast I'm talking? You see how much I'm stuttering? Because this is how low skilled this deck is. It's just me spamming. I'm trying to say out my thoughts, but it doesn't work. See, look at these misplays. I'm playing wall breakers into that instead of recruiting to the bridge. I let the fisherman get picked. Look at the bad goblins. Like, come on. This deck takes no skill to play. I just reset, recruits down the middle so he can't RG. And I go Firecracker to snipe out this Phoenix. He thinks it's going to target the monk. It actually does, but he pops the ability too late, so shame on him. Mind you, I think I'm in like the top 4,000 when I recorded this, and which isn't the best for me, but you're still going to find really good players in that trophy range. And so I go for a horrible Skelly Barrel wall breaker combo right into an E-Spirit, which like you see how horrible I'm playing, but the stacking of the Firecrackers is so versatile. So I just go for the recruits to the bridge. He goes for the monk. I just keep spamming Goblin gang, Goblin barrel. He gets a nice fireball here. That's my fault. But look, he has to play a fisherman, so I get to play a free mighty miner basically. So I thought he was actually going to go RG. He does. So I know his bar barrel's out of cycle, so I can just go free goblins. Then I'm just going to go recruits the bridge, eat the fisherman damage. So this was actually a lot of damage. I thought I was going to lose the game right here because I thought he could have just, spell cycled me. But right here, this is where I got him. Keep in mind to the Mighty Miner ability. Look at this. The smoke pops up, hides the wall breakers, and I win the game. Have you ever seen anything like that? Because that is the first time I've ever seen something like that happen with the Mighty Miner. Okay, heading into our fourth deck, we have Classic 3.0 Expo. And yeah, I'll admit, I'm really biased when it comes to me selecting this deck, because this is my main deck, this is my favorite deck, and this is the deck I'm best with. Typically, some of the starting plays is you cycle your knight, you try to get to your Evo Knight quick, and so as soon as I see a Lumberjack, I knew that it was either going to be Golem, RG, any type of beatdown deck. And typically with Golem players, you want to, anytime they play a 4 elixir card in the back in single, that means you want to go Expo. So as I go Expo right here with the Tesla up, because they can't afford Golem. So I see he has the healer, so I thought it was an Elixir Golem, so that's when I thought I messed up. And he plays an E-Drag, so I just fireball archers, try to catch him off surprise, and I do get a nice little Expo lock there. Now, he does end up barbarian. I'm just going to let that slide, and I will just reset with a knight in the back, I believe. Typically, you want to take tower in single against Golem players because that is the only time you're going to be able to have elixir advantages. See, right there, since I fireballed, he does get a free pump, so I'm trying to cycle back to my Expo so I can go right in and try to take the tower, which I do right here. So he does end up playing a Phoenix, I believe, and I'm not sure if I used the knight to block this or if I just let it go. I did, because I did want to save the knight on defense. I'm pretty sure I ended up predicting the golem in the back by going knight the bridge, which is some plays you'd like to make against beatdown decks like Lava 2. See, I go right here, and there it is. There's the golem in the back. So this should be, I'm pretty sure I take it down to 2,800, which is pretty good. And another thing, you do not want to set up early Teslas, but in this scenario I do, because my hand is pretty awkward, and I go for the archers in the back so I can cycle back to another set, because I know he's going to Tornado with the E-Dragon. And I just quickly fireball pull. He actually doesn't Tornado, because I guess he's down elixir for some reason, and he pulls a late Tornado, and I'm able to actually get a nice clean defense right there. Oh, I'm actually going to have the Tesla again, because I thought the tower was going to target. Whatever, that's fine. But he is up 2 pumps, but I will cycle, my logs, E-Spirits to the other lane, just so he has to respond to something, and if not... See, now my tower is in Fireball log range, and he is going to go for the Golem again. This is pretty much the last push I have to defend before I win the game. And so right now I'm just preparing myself. I'm trying to get back to another set of archers, and he actually plays a pretty bad E-Drag, so I'm able to just Fireball that, and the archers stay alive, and I can get another pair right there, and that should be good game. Okay, so I know I said a lot of words right there with that defense, but pretty much all you need to do is just cycle multiple sets of archers, stack your Teslas, and make sure the Golem support troops don't do work on your tower. That's pretty much all you need to do. Right here, I'm just playing a little bit of extra defense, maybe a little bit more cautious than I should have been, but right here I can just fireball the tower, take it, and that's good game. Heading into the final match of the video, we have Hog EQ with Evo Knight and Firecracker and Inferno Tower. So, I do believe we are playing an off-meta Bridge Spam deck here. Yep, we are, because when I saw this, I thought it was going to be Giant Graveyard, which, you know, I kind of got scared, because not really the greatest matchup, but Bridge Spam is also not the greatest when considering that this guy is running Royal Recruits. Now, he does activate King Tower early. That's a mistake I've made. So I will just Goblins, and he does go for the Dark Prince in the back and the Zap on the Goblins, which is a pretty odd play, you know. I was pretty, like, intrigued with the deck he was running. So I do believe I go for the Ice Spirit and then the Firecracker to counter right here, yep. And then I do believe we both just let this Firecracker do its own thing. It'll get a nice little shot on tower. And I do believe he ends up going for Recruits in the back. Oh wow, we actually played them a little bit step ahead of his tower, which is pretty odd. Normally if you want to play Recruits, you'd play them in the back so you can get more elixir. And right here I thought I was going to take a lot of damage because this queen was going to put in work. So I just Ice Spirit, Hog to tank for most of the shots, and I do believe I end up Firecracker. Yep, I didn't want to waste the Evo Knight. But yeah, we actually end up being in the lead for tower damage right now, which is really surprising. And so he does end up going for a Phoenix. That's also a pretty annoying card. But right now our Firecracker is going to pretty much demolish his whole deck because he doesn't really have a spell like Arrows or Fireball to counter us. And that's pretty much how we won this game. The Inferno Tower pretty much did nothing for us because, you know, Inferno Tower against Royal Recruits is probably the worst building in the game right now in the meta. You could probably swap it out for Bomb Tower, Cannon, Tesla, whichever you please to give you that quicker cycle. But I will just counter the Executioner with the Ice Spirit since I already have the tower down. I don't know why he went for that Dark Prince. He kind of just fed my Inferno Tower a little bit. I knew I could easily counter that Battle Ram with just a nice little log Firecracker Ice Spirit, but he actually does end up having the arrows. I completely forgot about that, so that's my apologies. I will just Knight down low, and I do see the Recruits coming on the left-hand side, so I'm just going to log that, take the shields off for everyone, and it should be an easy defense there, and I can just Ice Spirit. So pretty much, you just got to cycle a lot of defenses, Firecrackers, Hogs. Make sure you are pushing while they are trying to attack, because it will be hard for them to get damage while defending your Hogs as well. See, he goes for the arrows there, so I just go for the Firecracker in the back, knowing that I can cycle back to another one. It's a lot of cycling, a lot of elixir counting, and a lot of keeping track of your opponent's cycle. It's it's a mind game. It's very rage-inducing too when you get it wrong, like I do most of the times. So I got really lucky in this matchup because he was not running a spell like Tornado as well. I feel like we could have removed, I don't know, Dark Prince maybe for a Tornado, because I feel like his Executioner would have put in work. But you see, look at the Firecracker on the left. You see how much work it's putting in? All those shields are off right there, and I pretty much just got a flawless defense right there. Now, I did make the mistake of giving him a lot of arrows value right there with my Firecrackers, but they'd already put in so much work that it was no chance of them getting that value back. Anyways, so you do see me going for the Hog Riders, and keep in mind, the Royal Recruit is the worst card before Evolution. Defending the normal Recruits, as you can see right here, is a breeze. You can do it in your sleep. They are so weak, they're so slow, and it's pretty much not a problem at all. And even with the Queen down, the Evo Knight will put in work against her as well. And he just wasted another elixir with the ability, so I can just Earthquake. That's basically a 2 elixir Earthquake. And if I get the second Hog hit, I can cycle back, which I do. And that is the best part about this deck, the spell cycle. As you can see, look how quick I end this game, just like that. Alright, I appreciate y'all for watching the video. Let me know if you guys enjoy the decks, and I will see you on the next one.